Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself. Oh, and if you don't mind, like, subscribe, comment. And I've got a link tree down below that's got my social media. And it has my Patreon if you want to help out. Thank y'all. Every single mainstream media, except for Fox, has said the DOJ Inspector General report on the January 6th stupidity has said there were no FBI agents there. But their assets don't count, huh? There were 26 confidential human sources, or CHS, because that's going to be important here in a little bit, that were there. There were lots of agents that knew these folks were there, and that these folks broke the rules. After the FBI-led Whitmer kidnapping plot, this has all the signs of a situation of just seeing the top of the iceberg. So it would be nice if the MSM would quit lying, as that is what obscuring facts is. I am not about to argue about January 6th. I believe that it was sheep being led to slaughter, not an insurrection. There's a definite definition difference, but it was not an act of terrorism, true planning, unless it was to become the liberal fodder it became, or insurrection. It was a group of someone's convincing a crowd to do something idiotic, which it was. Humans have a herd mentality, and it kicks in far too often. I have a feeling I know who the group was that instigated it, but I have no proof except what was said in Congress. So we will just have to leave it as a group. So let's get into, mind you, you can go to my Substack down below. I have copied off a beginning part of the thing down there that I'm about to read off, and I have a link for you to read so you can see at the beginning of the report what I'm saying to you is exactly what's there. So try to claim that I'm a liar, and it just proves how much of a dumbass you are. So, via the OIG report, this is what they said. We found no evidence in the materials reviewed or the testimony received showing or suggesting that the FBI had undercover employees in the various protest crowds or at the Capitol on January 6th. Okay. They said undercover employees. We reviewed the documented CHS reporting. Remember, I said that would be important later. That the FBI had prior to the riot and breach of the Capitol on January 6, 2021. We determined that 3 CHSs had been tasked by FBI field offices in the days leading up to January 6 electoral certification with the required approval of the WFO, that's Washington Field Office, to travel to D.C. for the events of January 6 to report on domestic terrorism subjects who were possibly attending the event. Specifically, one field office tasked a CHS to travel to D.C. to report on the activities of a predicated domestic terrorism subject who was separately planning to travel to D.C. for the January 6 electoral certification. A second FBI field office tasked a CHS to travel to D.C. to potentially report on 2 domestic terrorism subjects from another FBI field office who were planning to travel to D.C. for the events of January 6. And a third CHS who had informed their handling agent that they intended to travel to D.C. on their own initiative for the events of January 6, was similarly tasked by their field office to potentially report on 2 DT subjects from other FBI field offices who were planning to travel to D.C. for the events of January 6. Our review concluded that none of these 3 FBI CHSs were authorized to enter the Capitol or a restricted area or to otherwise break the law on January 6, nor was any CHS directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit legal acts on January 6. In addition to these 3 CHSs, we found 23 other FBI CHSs were in D.C. on January 6 in connection with the events planned for January 6. None of these FBI CHSs were authorized to enter the Capitol or a restricted area or to otherwise break the law on January 6th, nor was any CHS directed by the FBI to encourage others to commit illegal acts on January 6th. We determined that the 26 CHSs who were in D.C. on January 6th, in connection to the events of January 6th, 4 entered the Capitol during the riot. An additional 13 entered the restricted area around the Capitol, which was a security perimeter established in preparation for January 6 electoral certification, and 9 neither entered a restricted area nor entered the Capitol or otherwise engaged in illegal activity. None of the CHSs who entered the Capitol or a restricted area has been prosecuted to date. The WFO did not know that a total of 26 CHSs would be in D.C. for the events of January 6th because only 4 field offices had informed the WFO or FBI headquarters that the CHSs under the relevant field offices jurisdictions, 5 CHSs in total, would be traveling to D.C. on January 6th. The OIG determined that many of these 26 CHSs had provided information relevant to January 6 electoral certification before the event, and that a few CHSs had provided information about the riot as it occurred. In addition, FBI field offices collected CHS reporting relevant to January 6 electoral certification from CHSs who did not travel to DC for the event. So, there's a lot more to the report, which I plan on reading when I have less to do, but if I can disprove a lie this quickly into the report, it shows what the MSM thinks of people. Look, I'm fed up with the lies. I'm fed up with the stupidity. Did something stupid happen on January 6th? Yes. Was it an act of terrorism? No. Unless you consider that there was a group that led a bunch of people into the Capitol building because there's a lot of interesting videos. Yes, some of them were stupidly violent, but others were led into the area. Like, literally, there is a video that I have seen where they moved barriers to allow them access to the secure area around the Capitol building. You've seen videos, or if you haven't, they're there. I don't remember where all these videos are. I didn't save them, nor do I care to save them. I normally don't even like talking about January 6th because it's literally stupidity. But there are videos where there are a bunch of them that are just peacefully walking through the Capitol building. Were there stupid people there? Well, hell, if you walked into the area, you were stupid in my opinion. You can argue with me or whatever over that. I don't care because it's not going to change my opinion. That was the move of people who weren't thinking. You were in a herd, so you had herd mentality going. Do I think that they should have had a terrorism kicker added to their charges? No. Do I think most of them should have even had trespassing put in? No. It's a government building. It's owned by the people, not the government. And yes, I will say that. I'm getting fed up with how government treats people. When you have this many buildings owned by the government, when you have this much land owned by the government, when you have this many people employed by the government, no, the government is no longer of the people for the people. It's all about the oligarchy. But at the same time, when there is something like this going on, no, you don't enter the damn building. You have to be an idiot to consider that, or having an idiotic moment. I think most of the people were just having an idiotic moment. And then they got in there, and the vast majority of them, as was seen by the cameras, a vast majority of them just did stupid tourist things. Hey, look at why I'm getting my picture taken in an office. Seriously? Seriously? No. But it doesn't mean that these people should be lied about, nor does it. They're lied about by the Democrats, by the Democrat-controlled bureaucrats, and don't tell me that government isn't that these government employees aren't controlled by the Democrat Party. or how many of them belong to unions? And guess what those unions do? They give money to the Democrat Party and pray that their wishes are abided by. That's what went on January 6th. It was herd mentality. Yes, there were stupid people there. I have a feeling that if the truth was to fully come out, and no, I don't think the truth's fully come out yet. I think people know what the truth is, but I don't think it's fully come out yet. I think that MSM would have a meltdown before they would actually allow the truth to be told on their radio waves. And I'm getting tired of this lie being propagated all over by every liberal stupid idiot out there. So, this is what really happened. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. Folks, I just want to say thank you for listening. I want to thank you for taking your time. I want to hear what your comments are about what you think on this topic, because your comments are what's important, not necessarily mine. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're conservative. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're Democrat. I want to hear your opinion on these topics. I want to thank you yet again for listening to my video. Like, subscribe, and all that other hoopla. This has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye.